아시죠? 크루즈 여행은 세 가지가 중요합니다. 누구와 어디를 가서 무엇을 하느냐가 중요합니다. 25년 1월에 떠나는 바나 크루즈, 미리 가보실까요?
First up is you'll board the ship on deck 5 and you should go look for the godmother picture, which in this case is the fictional character of Princess Fiona from the Shrek franchise. I bet they're cringing at this a little bit since that partnership with DreamWorks ended a few years ago now. Another thing to look for on deck 5 is this rollout stage that comes out of this navigational compass globe thing. You'll see it used for events on stage and when they'll present stuff. Just something to keep an eye out for. While on board, don't miss out on Boardwalk Doghouse on deck 6 in the boardwalk area. They have several different types of hot dogs and sausages, and here's where you can do the mustard drill. That's a cruise joke. It's actually called the mustard drill, but, I thought this was funny. Deck 6 also has boardwalk donuts, only in the morning, but you can go there. They have some coffee and juice and donuts. More donuts than they'll probably have at the Windjammer, so be sure to swing on by in the mornings of your cruise. Also, right across from Boardwalk Donuts is Johnny Rockets, which offers free breakfast in the morning. It's not their entire selection that's free, but there are definitely free components to it. It's worth checking out. Even further towards the rear of the ship on Deck 6 are these great aft views. If you go around behind the stage for the Aqua Theater, you can actually look out the back of the ship and just get some great views of the wake and maybe some other ships that you're sailing next to. One deck up on deck 7, right next to the rock climbing wall, is what I call secret seating. They've set up a couple small tables and a few chairs, and you can enjoy this view from the back of the ship with almost no one around because nobody knows this is here. Heading down from this exact spot, you'll see that on Deck 5 is a walking trail. We'll talk more about that in a second, but if you go down to the walking trail and then turn around, you'll see that there's a water fountain here. And there's some seating here at the back of the ship where, again, you can get some great views of the wake. A free bonus tip is Deck 5 is also a great place to get quiet sunset views. We've got some great pictures from this deck. Back on Deck 6, you can see Zoltar. This is not purely for decoration. You can actually pay $1 and get your fortune told by Zoltar. There are also funhouse mirrors right next to Zoltar. Everyone pretty much ignores these, but it's all those same kind of funhouse mirrors that you might see at a local carnival or some other place that has funhouse mirrors. Be sure to check these out. There are some on both sides of this hallway, walkway out to the boardwalk. A couple general tips for Allure of the Seas. The balcony dividers do open up on most of the balconies. I don't know if this is all the balconies. This is something you'll just have to try if you have multiple balcony rooms right next to each other. Talk to your stateroom attendant and they can open them up quite easily for you. We found it was really nice for sail away and just in the evening being able to share our balconies and just really open it up and kind of walk between rooms much easier than going out in the hall and meeting in somebody else's room. So it was kind of a nice little public space that we kind of had in our balconies. Another general secret is to order more food in the main dining room. You're not limited to just one main course except for lobster tail, but you can order multiple other main dishes, appetizers, all those kinds of things. Desserts, definitely get some extra desserts over the course of your cruise. I find the food very good, and being able to try a few more things than I might normally at a restaurant is just, I think, a great secret and tip. Sticking with food tips, I want to mention Park Cafe in Central Park. They have a really nice selection. It's of course not as big as something like the Windjammer or the main dining room, but for breakfast it's really nice. They have a bagel bar where you can get various types of spreads, donuts, lots of other little treats. There's plenty of seating at Park Cafe, but if you want a really quiet table, there's this little table just forward of the elevator that goes between Central Park and the promenade. I found it a really nice, quiet place to sit in the morning, and it's not too far from the chessboard that's nearby. Another tip is to make sure you visit Central Park at night. Sometimes there's music, but even if there's not, just the lighting and atmosphere is just really nice at night. Another great place is Dazzle's Music Club, just aft of Central Park on Deck 8. You can go in there, there's a nice variety of music. It can be fun, and if you're on Deck 8 like we were, it's actually really convenient. Another Central Park tip is up on Deck 9. There are these little exits right next to the elevators on both ends of the ship that lead out onto this little balcony with one little table and a couple of chairs at every corner so that you can just sit there and look over Central Park. It's quiet, it's out of the way, there won't be people walking right next to you, and so you can really just enjoy some time at Central Park here. And the view is not bad either. Another quiet spot is the library on deck 11 towards the rear of the ship, right next to the Diamond Lounge. It's open to everyone and you can just go in there. There's some books to choose from, and if you just want to get out of your room but find a quiet spot, check out the library. The card room on deck 14, just a couple decks up from the library, is another great place to meet with people and have fun. It's a little more lively than the library, but it's another great secret place of the ship. And deck 15 has the Solarium Bistro. It's in the solarium. It's another spot for food. You know I love talking about food. Again, a smaller selection than the Windjammer, but still very nice and perfectly sufficient. So avoid the crowds and check it out.
로얄 캐리비언이 소유한 매력적인 이 배를 타고 여행을 갑니다. 바하마 크루즈는 1월 6일부터 10일까지 댄스와 공연 등 다양한 프로그램이 있습니다. 크루즈 여행을 떠나고 싶은 분들은 언제든 연락주세요.